Well, hello and welcome again. Good evening. I greet you in the name of Yeshua, and I'm very thankful for this time to be able to spend with you. I wanted to come to you and I wanted to talk to you about unmasking the heart's hidden threats. And in our first part of this lesson, I'm going to talk about reproof, and we're going to expose some things. So, beloved children of the covenant, draw near beneath this unrelenting beam of revelation. For the Father who probes the secret places of the soul, in Psalms 139 and 23 it says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts." This place is to be uncovered. Nothing in this moment is trivial, and this hour is important. Today we stand at a crossroads of the heart's true estate, illuminated by the raw cry that we can hear in Jeremiah 16, verse 19. O Lord, my strength and my fortress, my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, Surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. The steadfast anchor of Isaiah says this in the 26th chapter and 3rd verse: Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusted in thee. Today I want to talk about the heart, and it's important to understand the things that we face, so we can let it speak for us. In Exodus 23 verses 25 through 26 it says, And ye shall serve the Lord your God, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. None shall cast their young, nor barren, in thy land. The number of thy days I will fulfill. Our intent burns clear to expose how the heart's unyielding soil breeds not just the fleeting shadows of physical sickness, or barren wombs, or shortened breath, but the deeper rupture of spiritual continuity, the soul's survivability hanging in the balance, where unchecked, vanity's server, modern touch, but vanity's thread needs to be severed so that the promise of our possession and our inheritance is not lost to the wind. In Jeremiah's plea, the heart's condition lies bare before us, not as a harmless misstep, but as inherited vanities, those empty nothings hardening into strongholds of deception, grasping the soul's core against the eternal rock. These are the lies fathered by the adversary himself, as our Lord declared in John 8, verse 44, Year of your father, the devil. He is a liar and the father of it. We need to beware the wolves cloaked in fleece, as Peter admonished us in 2 Peter chapter 2, verses 1 through 3. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them, and bringing upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. And through covetousness shall they with vain words make merchandise of you. I want you to let that sink in. With feigned words, they will make merchandise of you and of me. We cannot allow this to happen. Such predators peddle cognitive dissidence. They want you to go against your senses. They want you to go against your logic and giftings that God has given you in your ability to reason, the gnawing unrest when beliefs clash like storms-tossed waves, urging the hearer to cling to comforting falsehoods over the sharp edge of truth. Occam's razor will slice it clean for you. It's a wonderful saying, and I love it simply because it is simple. It says that the simplest explanation, rooted in God's unadorned word, will cut through any of these things that we have placed before us, and will put before you plain view the covenant of God and its promises. It will expose the layered deceptions that multiply shadows without light. And that's what happens with lies upon lies. A lie casts a shadow, and then what's left of whatever light there is from another direction casts another shadow, and something else is put in between it, and before you know it, the image is so distorted you couldn't tell what started it to begin with, and you're looking every other direction to try to figure it out. Let's talk about Isaiah. What can we say of his granite vow? A mind, the heart's vigilant watchman, unfixed, adrift, in unsubmitted wanderings, courts not serenity but the storm's unyielding clutch. This is the Father's solemn admonition. Absent of trust's mooring, the heart fortifies, not for the fray, but in defiance of our warrior king, spawning the miscarriages of justice, sterility, and stewardship. In Exodus 23, we find a seal. This exposure will show you the covenant. It will show it to you with clarity. Psalms 38:3, there is no soundness in my flesh because of thy anger, neither is there any rest in my bones because of my sin. And in Exodus 15:26, if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, and will do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments, and keep all of his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, for I am the Lord that healeth thee. Dearly beloved, let this reproof of Scripture pierce deep into your heart, that it may not be divided, but instead it will take whatever is there that is not supposed to be there and lovingly but surgically remove it. James 1 verses 7 and 8. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. I don't want the Lord's favor to be withheld from you. Proverbs 14:12 says it like this: there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Proverbs 23:7 drives it home for you. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. This exposes the heart's state. It is no peripheral battle, but the Spirit's sacred battleground. The crucible of the heart is where all true disciples are made. Take heed to Jude's urgent call to contend earnestly for the faith in verse 3 of Jude. The Hebrew root for strife or contend is agar, means to gather in battle array, to strive mightily, to contend for the faith. This verse 3 in Jude demands we war for truth's continuity. Now we're going to go into the second section of Rebuke. We're going to assault some things together. We're going to point some things out. Stand firm now, people of the way. I want you to draw your sword of the Spirit in its full authority. It says a father who withholds the rod despises his child. In Proverbs 13:24, he that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chastens him at times. Now I want you to take aim. set your sights on the mark of every elevated outpost concealed in the lies that we face, the paths that appear true yet lead to ruin, the ungoverned musings that mold us in madness's blaze. Consider first the 12 spies of Numbers 13 verses 1 through 3 and 30 through 33. One leader per tribe, dispatched to pierce Canaan's border, says this: Send now men that they may search the land of Canaan. And they went up and searched the land, and Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, Let us go up at once and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it. But the men that went up with him said, We be not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. Yet only Caleb and Joshua bore the Spirit's manifest surge. Through them that Ruach Harekt, the distinct breath of God. In Numbers 14 and 24 it says, But my servant Caleb, because he hath a different spirit with him, and hath followed me fully, him will I bring into the land whereunto he went, and his seed shall possess it. I want you to strike down the other 10's cowardice and recognize it for what it was. They didn't have a good report. I encourage you to believe the report of the Lord. Their poisoned word, exalting mortals above the Maker. Think of that. They exalted mere mortals above the power of God. The Spirit coursed through Caleb like Jordan's breach, grasping not dread but devotion, clinging to the oath amid the colossal threats. And there were threats. My goodness. They went into the land and they saw giants. They saw things that were so powerful and so intimidating that only the Lord could bring them through it. I want you to remember that word through, because we're going to talk about it later. It has a powerful meaning. Joshua was steadfast beside Caleb. They stood together. I want you to pay attention to these ancient examples, dearly beloved, for they reflect the heart's veiled currents. I want you to know about the word seize or hold. It comes from Strong's 2702, and it's ahaz. It means to fasten upon with an unyielding grip, to take possession in battle's command. I want you to grip like Caleb when he did not loose his clan's standard. Not anything with a fleeting, weak grip, but a forged bond, as in Genesis 22 and 12. Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing that thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, from me. Or in Proverbs 17 and 28, even a fool when he holdeth his peace is counted wise, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. Within the heart's crucible that we've been talking about, this rebukes the slack-handed trust that fumbles the pledge halfway, permitting emptiness to clutch the spirit in Jeremiah's snare. Jeremiah 16 and 19, the word through comes from avar, Strong's 5674. It means to cross over decisively, to traverse as judgment or journeys forward. It can also mean to transgress. And this is an impeller that will allow the Spirit's unhindered flow. And the Spirit moved as it swept through Egypt, but yet it bypassed the blood-sealed doors. Exodus 12 and 23, for the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians. And when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and upon the two sides of the post, the Lord will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come into your house to smite you. I want to challenge the heart. I want to challenge your heart. Don't let it stall at the edge. Don't let it be divided. Don't let it be untraversed. James 1:8, the unsteady soul gleaning nothing from the giver. The word hardness, or to strengthen, comes from kasak, Strong's 23:88. It means to gird with unbreakable might, to fortify as iron in the flame. This word doesn't temper Pharaoh's revolt, but instead Caleb's steel. Said in Joshua 1:9, be strong and of good courage, capturing the musings of his mind to Messiah's yield, challenging boldly the heart that rigidifies against this, spawning. Don't let your heart be hardened. Don't let it spawn bitterness. Don't let it spawn unforgiveness. Don't let it spawn these things that you will be alone and separated from the love of God. Do not do it. Proverbs 14:12, beguiling this trial, seeming just, yet perdition's portal. I want you to look at this word into. It's such an underrated word, but it comes from Strong's 84:32, and it's pronounced tavech. Tavech. It means to enter the innermost core, to embed amid a vital throng, or thrust deepward. In Psalms 23:4, it has a stride, and it'll bring us through mortality's gloom. We want to enter through him. Oh, we want to go into him. We want to be into the Father's presence. Ephesians 2:18, enter through him into the Father's presence. And it takes these three words and it brings them together in such beauty. In the heart, in its storms, the shallow foragers. I don't want you to be defiant. Listen to Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. Children, this is the Father's resounding decree, as Proverbs 23:7 affirms, for as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Don't let your heart's musings be ungrasped. Don't let the thoughts in your mind be so solid and rigid that they cannot be changed into right thinking and right feeling and right emotion. Don't become a sterile rock. Don't become a miscarriage of justice. Learn to be malleable in the face of the Lord so that he can move you and shape you and refine you. Exodus 23:26 indicts us, gives us and shows us the unjust pact, tells us not to serve half-heartedly, and if we do, sterility will seize our legacy, affliction will be upon us, and our provision will be curtailed, and our years will be shortened. But no longer. People of valor, confront these with Isaiah 26:3's fixed gaze so that you can trust him, so that his flawless calm can surge into you. The Spirit can course through your body boldly as it went through Joshua's path and guided him. And as the righteous thrive by the law's river, Psalms 1 verses 2-3, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Let's be unceasing in our rumination towards the Lord. Let's be unceasing in our meditation upon his statutes. And let's make sure that we're not drifting barren. We're not falling into the place where there is no winds and there are no stresses of faith, but instead lean into the challenge and embody justice. Absolutely. Deuteronomy 32:4, He is the rock, His work is perfect. For all His ways are judgment, a good a good God, a God of truth and without iniquity, just as right as He is. I'm going to read that one more time. Deuteronomy 32:4, He is the rock, His work is perfect, for all His ways are judgment, a God of truth and without iniquity, just and right is He. And by faith's report, as Hebrews 11:30, by faith the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days. Caleb's legacy endures, unbarred by unbelief's barrier. This is a special justice. It's a justice that reminds us not to have a double way about us, to take seriously our spiritual survivability, to take care that our souls are not broken. Now I want to talk about restoring. We're going to talk about bringing it back home, forging the heart's resolve into unshakable purity. Dear ones in the fold, let this mission give way to the Master Builder's steady line. Rebuild with measured grace, for the Father who inflicts the wounds binds it anew. Job chapter 5 verse 18, for He maketh sore and bindeth up. He woundeth, and His hands make whole. Understand that He'll heal what has been hurt. He'll mend what has been broken. And when we feel wounded by Him, He'll bind it up. He'll make it whole. Let this be a shaping of your heart. Let it be a bastion for Him. Let it be a surrendered bastion of strength for Him. Let it be an unbreakable cord. Let it be truth's covenanted bounty in your life. Let the Spirit course boldly through you as through Caleb and Joshua, grasping every notion. Corinthians chapter 10:5, with a haz, an unyielding clasp to fasten into victory. And with avar, a resolute crossing, going through to ford the conqueror's bridge, fortifying your will with kahazek, hardness, strength, tempered vigor to gird as a warrior's embrace, and with tavek, that profound immersion as an heir dwelling in His domain, as an heir to that domain. James unveils an unsteady spirit gains nothing. I want you to turn your face towards the Lord, affix your gaze upon Him, and let that ring true in your heart. Don't let trials consume your rising, but instead imagine in your heart the good things of God. Know where you stand. Take it seriously. I want your inner blaze to be anointed into His likeness. Picture it, beloved. Cherish your heart as His reflection, fitted for His splendor. Loveliness blooms in your yielded offering. Mercy ripens bountifully. I want you to heed Exodus's summons, and He will enrich your loaf, lengthen your line, and increase your lifetime, for the years of your life will be many. It will strike true. I want to speak to you with a father's resolve, that your dwelling place would be ordered, and that your foes' clutch on God's grace in your life would be broken. I want you to scan your heart and search for those perils and look deeply within. I want you to again pivot to His purpose, to have your mind refreshed in the words balance, Romans 12:2, by the washing and renewing of your mind by the Word. I want you to probe in prayer. I want you to muse on this anchor in Him. I want you to step forth in trust, grasp it, yielded, laboring wholly to claim the portion that He has for you, to forfeit nothing, not a single millimeter. I want you to beseech the Spirit's bold influence in your life, like in Colossians 3:23. Crown your reforged heart with the vast promise brimming that your houses would echo His promise and fulfillment in your life. I want you to take special care to know that you need instruction, example, answer, and methodology. I want you to have this to guide your depths of study. I want you to yield your mind and your body and your spirit wholly to it so that you can always look for the instruction, look for the example, examine the answer, and apply the method to your life. In conclusion, we want to demolish the high places and we want to move forward in courage with a master spiritual performance self-assessment. Children, dearly beloved brothers and sisters, people of the path, I want you to look at yourself carefully. I want you to examine yourself daily. I want you to pay close attention to the fruits of the Spirit and the things that you think about. Be careful with your intent. Be careful with your insight. Be careful with your counsel. Man, as heirs, you have a promise being fulfilled in your life. Yeshua loves you deeply, and it is mission for you to not just know His love, but to experience it, and for you to be able to walk into it with Him. He is the ever-present help in time of trouble. He is your refuge and your strength. And I pray in the name of Yeshua that this will bless you. So go forth, read the Word, do the Word, and be the Word. Thank you for your time and attention.